My friends, oh my goodness, we did it. I did it. I like stepped into the dream of a lifetime, and I have so much to share with you guys. I have stories and thoughts and even some things I want to inspire you with. So I am it's fortunately not my last night in Paris, although it's been a full trip and it's going to continue to be beautiful and full. It's been like in different eras. So when I first got to France, I spent a couple days in Lille, and which is in the north of France, and it was beautiful and so lovely. It was like a retreat. I was a little tired when I arrived, and basically I just slept and stayed in pajamas and had music on in the background and walked around the most beautiful village and spent really gorgeous time with someone I adore. And then I came to Paris for Fashion Week. So most of you guys, if you've been following me here, have seen this countdown I was doing, it's over now, to a runway show that I just walked in yesterday after seeing the opportunity here on Instagram and deciding to go for it and to apply and just probably wouldn't be picked, that kind of thing. And it worked. It happened, and it just occurred yesterday, and I'm mind blown. So I won't go through that story because it's here. If you guys want to figure out how on earth this came to pass, you can scroll back a ways and watch the long video I did here live. Probably about almost a month ago now, not quite a month, about how I saw that opportunity, applied for it, almost missed the email saying that I had been picked, and realized I was stepping into a dream. I have modeled since I was 15, but on and off. I've had 2 kids. I'm 37 years old. I was thinking, when was the last time I officially walked runway? And I think it was in between my daughter and my son. So somewhere between 7 to 10, almost 10 years ago, 7 to 9 years ago. Anyway, so now it's the day after, and oh my gosh, it's been a dream trip, and it's not even over. So this is the final night I have in this apartment I've been staying in, which is very close to the venue, and then I'm going to be moving over to this magnificent hotel. So I'll show you guys that tomorrow. And I'm just taking it all in. I had a beautiful morning with my friend today, and then just strolled around. I've been on a Zoom training I'm doing for a client, so I'm actually watching a recorded video of myself teaching clients, and I'm over here talking to you guys. Walked to the Tuileries and sat and had a hot chocolate and sat for hours in a cafe just processing. So what I'm ultimately going to talk to you guys about that pertains to you and hopefully will be encouraging and inspiring to you is what to do after you have a dream come true, right? So this was like a triple dream for me, right? I'm in Paris. I walked the runway in one of the most stunning venues I can imagine. You guys can see the pictures on my Instagram now if you want to go look. I've done at least one reel. I'm sure I'll post many more. But it was at the Intercontinental Hotel in their Salon Opéra, which is like this domed, gilded, mirrored situation. It was incredible. We were doing rehearsals, and I spent the whole practice walk just kind of looking around because I knew I couldn't do it during the actual show. It was magnificent. So I got to first step into that. Then I had some marvelous girlfriends come and witness it with me. Pasha was there, Eva, and Jacinda, who is they're all wonderful and such gifts. And so at the last minute, I was kind of like, do I want to invite people to watch this? Do you guys know what I mean? When you have something that's this huge dream come true for you, but it's so tender and you feel like you're on the precipice with it in your life in some ways, like it's almost too big, and maybe if it's a failure somehow, at least no one will witness it, so you consider just living it quietly and keeping it to yourself and not letting anybody know and not sharing it just in case you fail or you look stupid, or in modeling, you fall or something like that. And then I thought at the last minute, that's so stupid. I love these women. They've supported me in so many different ways, and I value our friendship so much. And honestly, it might even just be kind of mean to not invite them. So I let them know, and I had tickets that were included with being one of the models, and so I sent them tickets, and they came, and it was a 2.5 hour long show because there were so many designers. So just so blessed that they came. And then this magnificent human being, who I'll talk more about in the future, who came and accompanied me as well, and was a delight beyond delight. Just someone I adore and am so happy to know. And having him there was incredible. So I just did all of these huge dreams. I won't quite label them, if you will, label the dreams, but you know how when your heart has a desire and then you get to live like 3 of them at one time, to be in your dream, fully visible in front of people who love you, and then feeling completely this deep love at the same time. It was just almost too much, right? But not too much. I allowed myself to take it all in. And it's interesting, this may be helpful to some of you. One of the things I did before it happened, when I first arrived at this apartment, so when I got to Paris, I sat down and I asked myself, what would it look like for me to not fully allow this, right? Like, what would it look like for me to pull my punches and pull back and hide a little bit, even though I'd let myself step into this? What would it look like if I, kind of tried to pull back on the reins a little bit and keep it under control, right? Keep it reasonable. Have you guys ever heard those words when you're maybe sharing a dream with people who aren't fully on board with all of your potential? I've learned just not to share dreams with those people, but I know that I still might have the tendency to do that myself. So I sat down and journaled, what would it look like if I pulled back? And one of the things was to not go all in with sharing this with you guys, to not take all the pictures, to not, take pictures of the models and chat with the designer and all this kind of stuff. And it was interesting, and I've always noticed this in the modeling world. It's one of the ways and reasons that I never got too deeply into it, is that there's a lot of women who have no problem maximizing the opportunity, right? Like asking everyone under the sun to take their picture and really strutting for every photo. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just know that I am not quite built that way. And it actually takes me a little emotional effort to ask to, it feels like bothering someone, but it isn't really, but to take center stage, if you will. So I realized if I were to pull back and not document this and let people and ask people to take photos of me and just do the whole freaking thing, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anything, I'm just going to go all the way in. And I did, and it was 100% worth it. One of the coolest things is there were, I don't even know how many designers, over 20 probably, who were participating in this show. And you don't get to choose the designer you're with. You don't get to choose the outfit you're in. And so everybody always asked me ahead of time, like, what are you going to wear? And I'm like, I don't know. This is not one of my photo shoots for my own brand where I orchestrate the entire vision and the execution of it. This is somebody else's brand, somebody else's vision, and I'm showing up for them. So I have no idea who it's going to be, what they're going to want me in, what the vibe is going to be, what the hair and makeup's going to be. And in this room of over 20 designers, I'm paired with or picked by, or however it went down, a designer from Washington, D.C. Almost unbelievable, right? It's not a huge fashion capital, not that designers have to come from one, but of all the places for someone to be from, the city that I was born in, raised in, still spend quite a bit of time in, she's practically next door. So we both thought that was hilarious. She was so chill, as chicks from DC are, just saying. Those who were, who grew up there, who were from there. And her collection was gorgeous, just kind of this gothic, romantic, black lace, like kind of, I don't know, I felt like I was in a Madonna show or something. It was super cool. So she first gave me one dress, which was gorgeous. It was fitted and short with this tulle, fluffy train and sleeves, and I was very happy with that. And then later on, she said, I've got another idea for you. And so she pulls out this dress, which was magnificent, had this ginormous cross on the front and crosses on the side. I loved it. And how many of you know, total, this is like the behind the scenes, right? Total vulnerability. We all have little sections of our physical being that we're continually working to improve, And there are certain areas where I'm like, I would like to do whatever, a little, toning there. I do treatments on certain parts, etc. And this dress, circled them. It was like the size, I was like, really? Okay, this is highlighted, circled, let's go. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the backstage of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows, but when you get a model who's willing to tell the truth. I think there was one who said she had 7 layers of foundation on her butt alone, right? Well, I did not bring any foundation for that part of me. And so I was like, well, here we go. I don't even have body oil with me to glisten everything. So it was amazing because it was such a, I don't know, just felt like completely myself in that outfit. I was joking with a friend afterward. I was like, this is both sensual and religious. If that doesn't sum me up, I don't know what does. But it honestly was so comfortable and so gorgeous that I actually purchased it afterward. I asked the designer, Abby, like, hey, can I find you in DC and buy this later? I actually love it. I would love to own it, the whole story behind it. And she was like, well, I'll sell it to you right now if you want it. So I PayPal'd her, she handed it to me, and now it's mine. It's right over there on the chair. So it was such a cool adventure and such a, I don't know, a moment of feeling completely myself, fully represented in a way as myself. And I'm just so grateful that I got a designer who was so awesome. There can be divas, and she's just a delight. And that it was an outfit that I adored and resonated with so deeply. And when walking the actual show, was fully present and aware of I am having the time of my life. Like, I wasn't looking around the room at that time. It's not what you're supposed to do. But I was just not nervous, not wondering what people are thinking, just so completely immersed in the joy of the fact that I was doing that, and just very, very tangibly present in the moment, and so happy. And the other thing I was thinking was, I am 100% going to do this again. I am 100% going to make this one of those first in a lifetime experiences and not once in a lifetime experiences. And what was also really cool was the behind the scenes. I mean, to be totally honest with you guys, when I saw this ad on Instagram looking for models, I was like, this very well may be, which is perfectly cool, kind of a collection of wannabe models, like not the real deal. And, one could argue that I was right there with them. And then I got in there, I was like, oh shit, excuse my French, this is legit. These chicks have experienced and look amazing and know how to walk and are like fit and have the comp cards and the whole 9 yards. And the show was so well run. The team was on it. They had these headsets and everything was running like clockwork, and they were nice. They were pleasant to work with and on it, which sometimes is a rare combination. And so I was blown away. Honestly, it was at a caliber I didn't expect. The venue, the team, the size, the models, the designers, the designs themselves. I was really surprised and very pleasantly surprised. So I 100% want to do it again. I'll be more prepared next time. I'll bring foundation for my entire body, apparently. And and just, yeah, definitely a first in a lifetime experience. So beautiful. And then to share it with these people who I love so much. I'll go into more of certain things in the future, but I was so grateful, and I don't know how to, just satisfied. I mean, as significant to me as this dream of walking the runway in Paris Fashion Week was having someone there who I really love and am so well taken care of by. It's another story for another time. Hi, Amy. But I will say this, the night before I met him, I was in Paris. We were planning to meet up the next day. I wasn't expecting really anything to come of it. It's like, it'll be fun. And there was this huge storm. I don't know if you guys remember that. You'd have to follow me quite closely to remember those stories, but it was sometime in June, and this massive storm came through Paris. I remember being in my apartment that I only had for a night or two, and the wind was insane, and the lightning was taking up the whole sky, and I could hear down below these, the glass was being completely swept off of cafe tables, so glass was crashing, and people were yelling, and it was just like this storm came through. And then find out later that that's the meaning of his name, and I met him the next day. So it was just amazing. I feel like almost spoiled, but also not, I have no complex around, oh my gosh, this is too much, I don't deserve it. No, 100%. 100% 100%. I receive this completely. I'm not saying I do or don't deserve it, or that any of us have to do anything to deserve anything good, but I 100% receive this, and yet I am taking it in, that all of this goodness and glory and just some of the deepest desires of my heart to come together at the same time is overwhelming in a beautiful way. So that leads me to what impacts you guys, to what I want to encourage you with this evening. And I also want to share with you my outfit because I've gotten some questions on it. I was live on a Q&A earlier, but there's a beautiful little crop top by one of the French brands called Livy, Livy, underneath this. Won't show you any more than that. And then this is a camisole, black cami with a little lace v-neck that I got on Amazon. And then this is the Zara twin set that you guys have seen in some of the pictures I took in Rome earlier. So anyway, I have been loving this outfit all day with a black leather jacket on top. But so when you have a dream, I know that's been a huge theme for a lot of people following this, as I had hoped it would be. And I love that you guys have been in it with me and really received that from it. And I hope it's been inspiring. And I can't wait to hear all the things that come out of hopefully reigniting dreams energy for you all. But what often will happen afterward is kind of this, it's a decrescendo, right? It's kind of like you're coming down, and a lot of people will feel even sad and then feel guilty for feeling sad because they just had this awesome thing, and they'll be cranky. And I don't do that anymore. I'm very aware of like, okay, well, I had this massive energetic and emotional high, even physically tiring, and now is the next day and my whole system is unwinding, right? So now I've learned to just take it easy, sleep, eat what I feel like eating, sit down when I want to sit down, try to not have very much planned if possible, and just be very grace-filled with myself and patient. And so now I enjoy the day after instead of it being kind of a feeling of a crash. But the other thing that people often aren't aware of is that sometimes things like this can feel like a one-hit wonder style, right? Or a once in a lifetime. And so the question then becomes, how do I make this a first in a lifetime experience instead of a once in a lifetime experience? How do I allow what I just allowed to transform me, to up-level me into a new identity, rather than just being something that becomes a story, right? We've all kind of, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Some things, that's what it is in life. It's like the story that you tell, and it's this thing that happened, and it's so cool, and you relive it, and people think it's amazing, and you tell your grandchildren someday, and all that kind of stuff. But there's another way to handle extraordinary experiences that allows it to become part of you, right? That allows it to become, I don't love to say the new you, but almost like the next you, the new next level of what you're stepping into. And one of the most powerful ways to do that, I find, is one, to give yourself time to reflect on it, right? So first things first, today, and usually right after something like that, I don't try to start reflecting. I'm just letting my body and my mind kind of subconsciously process, right? So I don't sit there and try to like beat out some kind of what was the meaning of all of this amazing things happening at one time, and what are my takeaways, and what can I learn? Like, I don't know yet, you know? Like, I'm tired and I'm eating chocolate and I'm, you know, sitting in a cafe and staring into the distance and smiling at randomly. Like, I'm still processing. I have no idea what that was. But then once you've allowed that kind of just chill out, veg out day after something so immaculate and intense, I do recommend and love and shall be sitting down with a journal to just think like, wow, what did I just allow? And what did I just experience? And what did I love about it? And what maybe, I don't know that I'll go down this path, but what were the doubts maybe that could have kept me from it? And what am I so glad I realized was true that allowed me to allow myself to experience it? And how can I keep doing that? What are the kind of the truths, the beliefs about myself that I want to retain and maintain and integrate is a word many people use, and I like that. It means kind of to pull into yourself and now make part of you, to integrate with who you are. So I'll be sitting down for sure and just reflecting on, what does this mean, you know? And not that I'm any different or any better or any worse than I was before, but I've allowed something that I wanted that was incredible and that I hope is the first of many. So what is true of me now? Like, what am I, more accurately, what am I recognizing is true about me now that I want to remember so I can allow even more of this in the future, right? Versus I did this really cool thing once and then, whatever, and oh, well, I guess things like that only happen once, or it's just too good to be true, or it was a flash in the pan. Like, no. This is in the same way that my first trip to France after many years away, about 3 years ago exactly now, I noted I want to be the first in a lifetime of frequent travel over here rather than a once in a lifetime trip, which is what some people around me at that time were kind of, considering it and describing it as, and I was like, sure. And internally I'm like, no, we're going to do this a lot. And now I do, right? I do it a lot. And so a lot of things that are dreams, I bring into reality. And a lot of the way I do that is by sitting down after I achieve a dream to note, how did I do this? How did I pull this off? And what do I now know to be true about myself? And what do I want to anchor and remember? Which brings me to the second piece. When I'm recognizing what I want to anchor, what I want to remember, a key word there being anchor, I do my best. And it doesn't have to be extravagant, although I'm very excited. This time it will be somewhat extravagant, but some sensorily calming and like high receiving energy. So a lot of senses activated. What do I mean by that? I mean, when I'm processing something exquisite and trying to anchor in what I learned, who I became, who I now want to be because of that, I try to be in an environment that, one, is extremely calm. I think I talked about this in a podcast, Creating Your Dream Life, at some point at the end of last year, I think, or maybe the beginning of this year, I don't remember. And I was talking about, first, it has to be somewhere you're completely safe and calm, right? So if there's any people in your life who tend to be, Debbie Downers or kind of doubt your dreams, this is not the time to be around them. If there's any environment that reminds you of those kind of people, this is not the time to be in that environment. So whether you need to go sit in a hotel lobby or go to the park or sit in your car and turn on music that you like, be somewhere that your whole nervous system can know that it's safe, which opens up every part of you to be able to dream and receive and think deeply and believe the things that are coming to your mind, okay? If possible, all of the senses being ignited is great. If you wear a perfume that you like, or you light a candle that smells good, or you, have fresh flowers nearby, if the lighting is calming and beautiful, if you have an attractive view you can look at, if you have music, a lot of it sounds extravagant, but much of it can be done very simply. On the other hand, if you're in a situation where you can gift yourself something that is extravagant feeling or sensorily intense in a really beautiful, powerful, pleasant way, so I'm going to go stay at this hotel. You guys are going to see the room. I'm going to do another photo shoot there for my own brand, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited. When you see it, you'll understand why. The view's insane. It's super luxe. It's one of the best hotels in Paris, and I am so pumped to be staying there, actually, instead of sitting in a lobby, which, hey, that's amazing too. We've done that so many times. So if there is something that you can gift yourself, sometimes I will make a purchase. Doesn't even have to be a big one. Sometimes I will even just go for a walk through a beautiful garden that I love, or sit in a museum or something that is out of the ordinary, extra beautiful, extra enjoyable, extra kind of sensorily like, wow. And then here's the key to slow down in it, right? So I am going to plan a photo shoot in this hotel. I have a girlfriend I'm going to go meet for dinner. I have another girlfriend who's coming for breakfast, and I can't wait for all of it. And with the same firmness that I, keep my children from harm, like with a very definite certainty, I will absolutely be ensuring that I have downtime in that room and at some of my other favorite places in Paris so that I fully take in and really experience where I am, what I've allowed, process the thoughts that I've had, journal through them, right? So how many of you know that some of our best memories sometimes are from when we sat down on a bench and just took in where we were, right? Yes, if you go on vacation or something, it's cool to go see all the sights and blah, 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 but some of the most beautiful memories I have of all kinds of places and with all kinds of people are the moments of just being, right? Sitting on a bench in Paris or at Disneyland or at an airport and just being, not being on my phone, sipping a coffee, a tea, maybe having a journal, just watching people, maybe a little bit of prayer back and forth with God, just not even necessarily having thoughts, but just inhabiting my body and my thoughts and the space at that time. And that's usually when things integrate most deeply. So I'm going to be very intentional, and I encourage you guys to do the same if you're ever processing or allowing a next level, to not fill your calendar even with, oh my gosh, if I do all these things, then I will have been that person. Sometimes becoming the person is just bringing yourself, even with discipline, to stillness and taking in your surroundings. To journal what has happened, what you're grateful for about what has happened. Not even, not ignoring it and trying to kind of overlook it, but being very much in the moment of, this is what is occurring right now. This is what I'm allowing right now. I cannot believe it. This has been amazing. And I'm so 100% here for even more of it. Here's what I'm stretching into next. Here's what and not even looking too far forward, just being so present with and aware of who you're being right now and what you're experiencing, and proud of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I intend to fully journal, and I've gotten the most beautiful messages from my friends and from you guys of how proud you are of me. And do you know how much that means? I'm so grateful. And I know, and I hope, and I believe this to be true, because I know when I write things like that to people, usually it's true inside of me too, that there's a sense of like, she did it, I can do it. When I'm saying I'm proud of her, I'm almost still also acknowledging myself for the things that I've allowed, or that I am going to allow, that I'm stepping into. So it's an access point for the energy of allowing an incredible dream. So I just want to tell you all, I'm so grateful and so touched and so honored and feel so loved by all of the messages and the random stories some of you have even shared of this whole adventure that I've been on. So thank you. It's an honor and it's a joy to share it with you. And I hope to give you back that energy so that you can feel proud of yourself for what you've accomplished and how far you've come and what you've allowed right now and what you're about to allow next. And to be present with that current identity and next identity so that it's not a fluke, it's the new normal. Okay. So to recap what I said, and then I don't think I have any more little anecdotes to share at the moment, but if any come to me, I'm sure I'll be back in the future with more videos about this incredible experience. But when you're anchoring and allowing a new identity, or even just, when I say that, what I really mean is processing something extraordinary, something beautiful, whether it's meeting someone you love, or being more visible than you have before, having a photo shoot, shooting a video, making your first offer on the internet, something that feels like, oh my gosh, I was so scared of that, and I was also so excited for it, and then I 100% went through with it and allowed it, and it was amazing, all this kind of stuff, even if it wasn't perfect. Although this experience was pretty much perfect. It was incredible. But even when it's not, to consciously curate those moments of growth so that you then build, right? You stack them from strength to strength to strength, rather than like being at a low plateau of a low self-worth or self-identity and having something amazing and then sinking back down because what was I thinking? Who do I think I am? That's not who I am. I was a once in a lifetime thing. I got lucky, all those kind of beliefs that pull us back down to a lower identity. And if we let people speak into our lives, they can 100% say things like that to us, that if that's our internal belief, will confirm that belief and keep us there. Instead, what I'm describing is you have an incredible experience and you think, fuck yes. You know what I mean? Like, more please. I'll have more of that. That was amazing. Welcome to the new. This is my new life. Doesn't mean it's always going to be flawless, but I am here for more of that. And so I'm going to anchor at this new level that I've allowed myself to experience, to step into, so that this is now the new normal instead of this. And therefore, I'm now building from here and I can go higher more easily. And that's how I've done so much to rebuild so much of my confidence and identity and what I allow myself to have without any kind of haughtiness or self-exaltation in any way. It's more this exquisite gratitude, like a little kid of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got to experience that. Thank you so much. And I'm available for even more, or I'm 100% now the woman who's going to allow that to come even more easily, where it's just normal. And then I can give it back to other women. It's so cool stepping into this. I've, had several of you step into private days in Paris with me. And I'm so pumped, but I know that it's the transfer of energy, right? As I allow myself to step into my biggest dreams, you catch the energy, the vision, the dream of like, I think I'll have what she's having. You know what I mean? So when we allow this and when we do it with a clean energy, a pure heart, and we don't lose integrity or pick up any arrogance, it becomes something that's a gift to everybody around us. And the beautiful messages that have been sent of how inspiring this has been to you guys and all this kind of stuff. And I always feel like you're next. You know what I mean? Whether it's for love or career or big dreams or whatever it is, you're next. And that's the energy I want to pass on. So allowing yourself to be in a beautiful, calm space to really sit with and bring your awareness to what you have allowed and process all the thoughts, the feelings, the joy, the gratitude. You do little hearts around it, whatever you want to do. And then making it clear to yourself and to God that this is a first in a lifetime experience and you are 100% here and available for more of that. Please and thank you so much. And then ideally doing that in an environment that brings your soul to a higher sense of self, right? Whether that's some kind of perfectly free, like no money involved, natural surroundings, like a beautiful park, or your car with your favorite diffuser and essential oil and music on in the background and a beautiful outfit, whatever it is. Or if it's a 5-star hotel in Paris overlooking one of the biggest monuments here, like whatever it is, whatever is currently the perfect fit for you in your season of life or in this particular moment that you're living, but to allow your body and your soul to be in a state of sensory bliss where all of the receiving muscles are kind of turned on, or are being used. And I really think that allows this to sink in more deeply and become something that really was happening, I think, and I'm no scientist around this, but I think our body's just becoming more comfortable with it, right? So when we allow ourselves to be in a safe space and sit with the awareness of what we've allowed, and then to do that in an environment that is already not forcing us, but inviting us to receive so much because of the activation of all of our senses, it's like from the calmness and from the sensory activation, our body's like, this is okay. I can 100% receive a client at that price point. I can 100% walk with my bottom, the bottom part of my leg or whatever on full display in one of the biggest venues in Paris Fashion Week. Let's go. I don't need any coverage. Like whatever. If it's allowing love that is so healthy, you're almost not quite sure what to do with it, except you're not going to mess it up. That's for sure. Whatever it is, your body, instead of rejecting it because you're used to something that seems so good, it must be too good to be true. Instead, you're training your body that no, this goodness is true. You're rewiring your mind to sit with something that's so delicious and to not run from it and to not fear it and to not push it away as something other or that you can't have or that's for other people. It's a full integration and claiming and embodiment of no, I receive this. This is mine. And in fact, if I had one last step to give you guys, I think speaking it out, because I can feel it happening as I'm even sharing this with you. Speaking it to people who you trust, or even to yourself. At many points, there have been moments where I haven't shared certain things, but I'll still record, it to myself, and maybe I delete it later and it just needed to come out of me. Or I say it in front of a mirror or something and just claim like, wow, this is amazing. This just happened and I'm here for it. This is incredible. And this is the new normal. This is the first in a lifetime, the first of many. So if you have someone safe you can share this with, or if you go on your social media like I am right now, or whatever, is the safe space for you. Or heck, even if people don't like it, too bad. But allowing yourself to voice it, even if it's to yourself, and to claim it, that this is all yours, and you're 100% here for it, and you're not going to run away from it. And you're going to take it all in, and it's going to be delicious, and it's only going to get better. So that's what I'm going to go do for the next few days, in addition to a couple other little work and friend things here and there. But I am so grateful. I am so grateful, God. I'm so grateful that I saw this, allowed everything that happened around it to, allowed love and beauty and visibility and fun and all of it at the same time, that I'm very proud that all of my like receptors, if you will, were open enough to take in so much good from so many different directions at one time. You know, so many women get very easily caught into career or love, right? Kind of basically masculine energy or feminine energy. And I just embodied both at the same time. And I'm so proud of myself and so grateful, because I didn't used to be able to do that. So I say that not to impress or to brag, but I have some friends who will say, I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you. And I love that saying. I say it to impress upon you that 100% you can step into both and receive so much good all at once, and not have it be something that you aren't even able to hold on to and it slips through your fingers, but that it's safe, and it's now home, and it's the new normal, and it's what you were designed for. And now you're going to continually receive it with ease. In the name of the Lord. Amen to that. So I hope that is helpful, inspiring. I know many of you kind of love the behind the scenes, not even so much of like, oh, look, here's a picture of whatever the airport lounge looked like, or the outfit I picked, or the backstage of the modeling show, whatever, but the backstage of the mindset, right? Which is really way more important than any logistics, because it's always interesting when women share a space with me that I can see that their mindset is in a different space, which I completely understand and respect. But I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of internal work, and I'm very grateful for that. So what an incredible journey. I'm grateful for the designer. I'm grateful for this piece that she picked. She was like, you are probably one of the only women here who actually has a body, so you're going to wear this because it's going to show your... Anyway, it was awesome. It was a perfect cherry on top example of being fully seen and very safe to be seen, and loving every minute of it instead of hiding or apologizing or running. So may you all feel, embrace, and step into exactly that in your life, in whatever way that looks. I send you and wish you courage and love and peace, no anxiety or stress as you're growing and expanding, just easy, calm, fun, chill, like dancing backstage to the music before you go out in front of all these people. That vibe, that sense of gliding through your ascension. Sometimes it's difficult, but many times it's beautiful. So I invite you to allow all the beauty and all the love, and know that it's only getting better from here. And this is 100% your new normal. So welcome to your beautiful new life. I love you guys so much. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown me during this. It has meant so much to me. I love you all deeply, deeply, deeply. So have a beautiful rest of your day or evening and week. I guess this is a Monday. And I'm sure I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.